Good morning, contracts fam. Good morning. I hope everyone is staying safe, washing your hands regularly, walk with an hand sanitizer, and most importantly, don't be nasty. Just literally just be safe, be clean, and if you can, just stay at home. I for one, I'm staying at home. I mean, I'm bored as hell, but I'm staying inside because I really want this coronavirus thing to be done away with so we can all go back to regular programming. Yeah. So for today's video, I'm gonna go back way when I just started photography, or in that era a couple years ago, and I'm gonna re-edit a photo, a portrait shot. Now, reason being, I think photography is, well, it's about growth. You learn. Say bye, because she's not staying. Bye, Izzy. Bye. Yeah, so photography for me, well, overall, is about growth. The photographer you are today won't be the photographer you are tomorrow. Now, some of the simple editing stuff that I know now, for example, frequency separation, I had no idea what that was. Back in the day, like, I didn't know. But it's just about growth, and the most important thing is starting, because once you start and continue learning and learning, you're just gonna get better and better. So for all those creators who feel insecure about your work, or you may be comparing yourself to other big photographers, it's just time. They started somewhere too. Don't worry about having the best equipment or having all the skills right now. The most important thing is you have a concept and you're brave enough to put your work out there for public criticism, so to speak. I had an issue finding a photo to edit, and I realized that back then I wasn't paying attention to shooting in RAW. So tip number one, guys, please ensure you're shooting in RAW, not just JPEG, because listen, when you need all that information from the photo to kind of get the best edit from it, yeah, JPEG is just not gonna cut it. So I tried, and I literally just found one set of all photo shoots that I actually maybe accidentally shot RAW in. So I'm gonna choose something from that and I'm gonna work with. This was the edited version of the photo. First, what I'm gonna do is just some simple basic correction. So I'm gonna turn on the contrast a little because I think it's too just too much contrast. I'm gonna bring down the highlights. You don't want to do all the editing here, but just the basic editing. I'm gonna bring up my shadows a little and just a little clarity. Like, I'm not trying to sharpen the image or anything, so just a little clarity, just to bring back some of that, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a technical photographer, so I'm just gonna walk you through what I do. I usually when I bring the contrast down so low, I usually try to put back some black just to keep it like natural and thing. I bring down the saturation a little, and because I'm gonna add other layers down the line, and just boost my vibrance just a little. So the first thing I do is blemish removal. I use my healing brush tool and I just try and find all those blemishes. So what I do too is I add a black and white adjustment layer, and then I usually turn on the reds and the yellows a bit, not a lot, just a bit. This is not permanent, guys. This is just so I can see the blemishes more, and then I continue this process. This process is usually one of the longest, getting out the blemishes, but you want to get out the blemishes before you start retouching the skin, because yeah, after that it's just gone. So try get out as much blemish as possible. possible. All right, and then you delete black and white layer. Yeah, I mean the difference right now is slight, but it does make a difference. So before, after. Alright, so the next thing I do is I copy that layer twice, and I try to work in groups as much as possible, and I also try to label my layers so I know what. So this group is what I'll do the frequency separation with. So what you do is you create two layers, right? So the lower layer will be color, and the layer at the top will be texture. Good. Now for the color, I turn off my texture layer. So for the color, I go to filter, Gaussian blur, and the trick here is that you don't want it to be like blurred out. You just want it blurred enough so you can't tell the difference with the textures. I would say that looks good to me. That looks good to me. And then I turn on back the texture layer. So here now I go to image, apply image. You want to ensure that the layer is the color layer underneath, and you go to blending mode and you select subtract. Now it should be, the scale should be 2 and the offset should always be at 128. You press OK, and then you want to ensure that your blending mode is linear light. Bam! So the whole aim of this is when you turn off the frequency separation group, it should be as though nothing changed. And what frequency separation does is separates the texture from the skin from the color, so you can make adjustments to the color without it affecting the texture of the skin, and that's why I love it. So let me say I start with the forehead. Bang, bang. All right, so ensure that I'm on the color layer, and then what I'll do is I'll go the lasso tool, so L for the lasso tool are here, and I want to ensure, well, I usually test it first, and then I press Q. So what Q does, it shows you, it kind of shows you the area that's affected. So I press Q because I want to see if it's feathered enough, because I don't want it to be sharp. And let's say we put the feather at 10, I would do it at 10, and you press Q. You'll see it's just so harsh, like there isn't a smooth transition. I don't like it like that. I prefer it smooth, so I keep mine at 35, and then I just do the area that I want to edit first. So I like the forehead. Then I go filter, I go Gaussian blur, and then I don't want it, yeah. It's like black people and seasoning. You just go until the ancestors say stop. When the spirit say enough, we just stop. Alright, every area I go back to Gaussian blur, because what works for the forehead won't work necessarily for her, whatever this area is. This is the first time I'm actually editing in front of somebody, so much people. I'm nervous. I don't usually invite persons in my editing process. It's just like a sacred space for me. And I think it has a lot to do with not being a technical person, and sometimes you struggle with insecurity. But I mean, this is all of us, we're just trying to figure it out. Like sometimes I see a tool and I've never used it before, I'm like, huh? That's what you do, you know? So I mean, I just need to get over it, because we're all figuring it out. There's such a lot of pressure to just know everything. Like no one knows everything. That's why we're here, to kind of teach each other. I'm not, as a photographer, I'll always be learning. I mean, the moment I stop learning, then something wrong. But just tired for an environment where people who know wants to keep that knowledge for themselves, as though it will give them some kind of superpower because they know everything. I mean, that's just such bullshit. I hope I'm not chat and be distracted, no, because I usually have to be focused. So I hope one not distract me. Alright, so sometimes I use the clone stamp tool here. No, I lie metal, the brush, and then I go mix the brush tool. And what I do here is I turn up the layer for this. I usually try to get the colors like so to eliminate the hot spots, so it isn't that bad. So far, let's see. Whoa, that's just a major difference, like already. I'm wondering if I can bring up the colors on the eyes. I don't know, I'm gonna try. Alright, so I create a new layer. Her teeth looks fine, but I'm just gonna add just a little. So I create a new layer, ensure that I'm on the brush tool, not the mixer brush tool, just the brush tool. I'm just gonna dust the one white layer over her teeth. I'm gonna set the blending mode to overlay, and I'm gonna just lower the opacity like crazy. This makes her smile brighter. I'm gonna try to just bring up the color a little bit, but not gonna overdo it. I like to sharpen the mouth, the nose, and the eyes, and the eyebrows. So what I do is I copy the texture layer, and then I create a layer mask, and then I invert that layer mask, go to my brush tool, ensure that it's on white. Yeah, you can toggle between it using the X, change the set foreground color. So ensure it's on white, and then I just paint over those areas that I want to sharpen. Bazam. Alright, so that's it for frequency separation. So I'm gonna add some layers. So first I go to adjustment layer, and I start with the curves layer. I add photo filter. The default usually is warming, but I usually just play around with it. I just play around to see like, okay, let's try the deep yellow. And then yeah, so I invert this again, brush, then I'm just gonna paint on the areas that I want it to be applied to. I know a lot of people, but I know them prefer to use the pen tool for this. If it works for you, do it. I mean, me can't bother with the pen tool. All I do is just invert the brush. So I put it on black, and then I just erase the areas that I don't want to be affected by the thing. I'm just gonna keep it very, very light. Very, very light. Like, some of the changes are so subtle you can't tell like right away, but then after you're done, you're like, oh, so that's what it did. Alright, so I'm gonna see now. So this is for the background. I'm gonna add a black and white layer because I don't want it to be oversaturated. Alright, so created a color balance layer. Right now I'm really just targeting the background. Let me go to the shadows. Ooh, me likey. First I'm gonna copy this color balance. It's not gonna stay like that. Turn off the first one. I'm gonna turn this down because I like the effect. I don't want this applied to the background, so I'm gonna turn this down a bit. And then I'm gonna turn this on. Now for this now, I really just want it to be on the skin. Once again, I'm just ensuring that it's not applying to the face because I don't want that, the skin or the body. I don't want that. See, I don't want that. I really just want it to be on the background. Let's add a little gradient. You want to turn that down, and then we're gonna erase. Turn that down a little. Probably change the direction. Just to kind of add a little character to it, I think. Alright, so I still wanted it to look oversaturated. Let me see if I can just bring up back the black and white some more. So I'm gonna copy everything. That Shift, Alt, Command, and E, and then I'm gonna create a layer mask. So at this point, if I'm pleased with how it is so far, which I am, I'm gonna go Shift, Alt, Command, E. That's just copy everything. And then I'm gonna go convert to smart object. That way I can go back and make changes because I'm sometimes indecisive. Then I'm gonna go blur, Gaussian blur. I'm just gonna apply some blur to the background. Not like so much, so it's obviously fake. But I mean, when I was shooting this, I obviously didn't know about depth of field. Well, I knew, but probably didn't know how to properly apply it, because then I would have taken the subject away from the background and had it sharp on the wall. Press Command over the layer mask, and I'm going to drag and drop that layer mask to the Gaussian blur. I think I could crop it in some more too. Like, she's lost in the frame right now. Yeah, I'm just adding one final thing. Levels. I appreciate the black so much. So here is the original, the old edit, and the new edit. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's a pleasure always to be with you guys. Just shoot me some comments. Let me know what you thought, any questions, what would you guys like to see next in my next video. Bye.